Hello, this is Tomarchio and Ellie Schroeder, and we are both studying in the third level for the Institute of Intuitive Intelligence. And today we are jumping on to talk about what it means to be a spiritual leader. And we're going to talk about some of our practices and tools and, in general, our experience of what it takes to become a spiritual leader. So there we are.
Cool. Hi, everyone. Ellie, do you feel comfortable seeing yourself as a spiritual leader? And what has it taken to get you to this point?
Well, that's a big question.
Loaded question.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things where the calling has been so strong that I just can't ignore it. And, try as I might at times, because it feels like it sometimes might be easier to not be a spiritual leader. But the calling is so strong that I can't avoid it anymore. And so I'm becoming more and more comfortable with what it means. It's certainly brought up a lot of fears, self-criticism and self-doubt. Who am I to be a spiritual leader? I don't, those questions of whether I have enough skills to be that person. But what it comes down to for me and what makes me feel comfortable is, who am I not to be a spiritual leader? Who am I not to bring this to the world? Because my people are waiting for me. And I think that's what, the more I do this, the more I am of service, the more I see that if I hadn't have offered that service to that person, they might not have had that transformation or that realization about themselves. And I see that when I myself are looking up to spiritual leaders and learning from them, if they hadn't, had that beacon turned on, I might not have found my way and travelled that journey and found out those things about myself. So, and who are we not all to be spiritual leaders? Really, like it's.
What does that mean? When we talk about being a spiritual leader.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it means that, us being our true, divine, powerful self is a spiritual leader, like we are embodying that. We are being that example, and we are inspiring others to be, to be more embodied as that empowered person that they are, that they were born to be.
So the more you be you, the more they can be them.
Yes. So yeah, that spiritual leader, it can feel like a really big question. Like you can feel like you could pop somebody on a pedestal, but the more I've really dived into this idea, and and I am getting more comfortable with it, is that I feel like we are all on that same level playing field. That we're all learning at the same time, and we are all, able to learn from each other. And we are all just trying to be, really truly ourselves, to discover who that is. And it's like we're all just on that pathway to discover what, it is like to be in heaven on earth, in a way. Yeah. So yeah, I think that, I'm getting more comfortable with it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Been a big journey, particularly with this journey on the third level. There's been a lot of things to learn and grow from, and I bet you've got some things to share about what's what have been those really big growth edges for you in the third level? Like, what are the things that you've learned from the big aha moments? Share.
Yeah, I mean, what you're talking about being a spiritual leader is, being truly who you are. But what we have to do is we have to remove all those fears that get in the way and all those blockages and obstacles to being who we are. That for me, the third level has been that. Ricky Jane Addams talks about it as it being a fear detox program, and holy shit, it is completely. And so many, compounding layers and unraveling and unwinding of fears. But I think the biggest growth edge for me over the last 12 months has been to trust myself, to trust God, to trust the environment, to trust everything, to trust you, to trust my neighbor, to trust the ground to hold me when I walk. Just to trust and to know that with every cell in my being, to know that. And you keep coming up against that, and you got to like relearn that. And like I have this little rock here, and I was telling Ellie on our pre-chat that it just happened to be right there where I was putting on my mascara.
Yeah.
Just to remember to trust and to grasp that, when we're talking about embodiment, our cells know that. So that's what it's been for me, is to embody trust.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly a big one. Trust that
it's huge.
Everything's as it will be, and that we will be provided for, and that we will be supported.
Yeah, and by having that, then you can serve. And you have that trust to, I trust myself now. If I'm feeling something, within a method session, I don't doubt that anymore. There's that laser-like clarity to the connection to myself and my truth, and that being so deeply rooted to the divine that there's no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that like along the path as well, like I've learned and practiced and developed different ways to do that. So have you got some non-negotiable tools and practices that you use to keep you on this path of being a fierce spiritual leader?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, we're not, being in the third level, of course, we've got heart coherence. That's such a big part of Ricky Jane and the Institute of Intuitive Intelligence work. The heart coherence is definitely a big tool in my kit, and it's one of those things that I can almost just do autopilot. Like I don't even know sometimes. It's not as big a conscious thing.
It's not an effort anymore, is it? It's not a reach anymore for us.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a big one. I definitely feel like taking the eagle view, the shift in perspective, being able to use that is a really big tool. So seeing, like when you're in the thick of something, it can be hard to, you're in it. It can be hard to see your way out of something, but being able to draw yourself back out, you can sort of get a perspective and sort of change your perspective. And I find that one's a really huge one for me. Like an example is recently, or at the start of the year, so recently, I was doing a job for a client, and I was doing a big print job. They were having a book published, and they were printing a book, and there was an error in the printing, and it was looking like I was going to have to pay thousands of dollars to have this job reprinted. And oh my God. Now, I mean, thank God for doing this course, because I was really I dropped into heart coherence every time I was in a phone call with the client or the printer, trying to work out what was going to happen, because it was part my fault and part the printer's fault, not the client's fault. Um, and I really just was really just sort of holding a very good positive space for it. And then one day I was just really sitting in a bit of stillness about it. So I wasn't trying to I wasn't, in this, despair. I was just really sort of holding a high energy, but I was in this space of stillness, trying to just pondering what it all meant. And then I just laughed. I went, oh my God, it's because I was out of alignment with the job in the first place. I didn't believe that I was worthy charging for the print job. There was some money to be earned for me, by charging for that print job. And I really felt bad about it, like I didn't deserve to be charging. So it was quite an interesting moment where I went, oh my God, I was so out of alignment with myself with this job. That, of course, the universe was then correcting, well, not correcting, but it was just, giving me what I was believing. And so once I had realized that, I did a lot of work around shifting my beliefs around it. Lots of heart coherence, and Dr. Joe Dispenza, which is one of my other big tools. He's got some amazing meditations out there. And one of them is changing, tuning into new potentials. So I did that a lot. And and then, of course, the miracle happened. The printer decided that they would foot the bill for fixing the print job. And
of course they did.
I was, but the beauty of it too was that I learnt, because I was out of alignment with my belief that I was worthy of charging money for the work that I was doing. So it really helped me there. But those tools, I mean, if without those tools I would have been just in despair. And I've got no doubt that I probably would have had to pay for that reprint if I'd been in that old paradigm of thinking of,
and not course corrected.
Yes.
Not, taken the time to create the conditions for the stillness to realize that's it. It's just not in alignment with me. It's not where my energy is sitting at. I'm blocking something here.
Yeah.
You got out of your own way.
I know. Yeah, it was a really big one, a big lesson, and very grateful for all those tools that we have. Have you got any standout tools that you use?
Definitely heart coherence. I'm a big meditator. Like, my day will flow so much better if I connect to that calm before I do anything else, before I go out of bed, before I talk to anyone, before it is that non-negotiable, because then I'm operating from my truth. And it might look different from day to day, but I'm becoming a lot more accepting to just being in the present and what it is, and not getting attached to the emotion, like letting the emotion, or whatever I'm feeling, just noticing that, letting it move through if it needs to. But I find that, when I attach to that, then I'm not as in flow with life. So I think that really sets me up to allow that flow to happen for the rest of my day. So that's definitely a go-to, is just being present, present to what is, and trying not to have the judgment on whether it's good or bad. It just is. And if it doesn't feel that great, there's so many tools to come back, the heart coherence, just I'm in my body, safe. Just noticing what my finger feels like when it touches my skin, and sending all my focus there, so I can, like you said, the perspective shift and that perception shift to, there's nothing wrong with my world right now. I am safe. Here I am. I'm comfortable. I'm in my body, and I can make that choice to be in fear, or I can be in love. And it's just getting quicker and quicker to go to the love now that, like, so much more of that fear is just
Yes.
transmuted, you know. It's
Yes.
not blocking that path and that flow of being in love. And yeah, we can just choose love. Just
Mm,
choose love, you know. Pretend
yeah.
it's on a t-shirt that you just wear, like that's on your skin. Just choose love.
Yeah. Yeah. So amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was just, yeah. I always feeling like that, and my only thing at the moment is just those around me. Sometimes, like, what is she on? um, a little bit, and I wonder, like, yeah. I mean, how has doing this course and this sort of stuff affected, like, your relationships? Those people around you, or yeah, the environment that you're in. Like, what? It's got to have
Yeah.
changed things. What do you? Yeah. What?
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, the ripple effect starts with you, and you know, once you start working on yourself, it does affect everybody that's in your realm. Sometimes it's not always comfortable, you know. Like you said, sometimes people are like, well, you know, what do you want? And some people, when you are comfortable speaking your truth, they're not. They're just not comfortable with that, and trying to not manage that and just be, you know, with my own stuff. Um, Definitely my communication with relationships, you know, with family, with friends has been a lot more confident, a lot more clarity because I'm coming from my truth. I'm not trying to control anything. I'm not trying to manipulate any conditions. I'm just setting the conditions for me to thrive and finding out more about me, but then also by doing that, finding out more about them so I can have more love and be more love and just be more love in general.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's a really good example of how in general the environment has changed, where my partner and I were living before. You know, it was a great mystics cave, really good location, you know, center of town, like ticked lots of boxes, really funky. Um, but there was a lot of blockages about feeling safety and that sense of belonging, and we were presented with a unhappy woman living next door to us in really close confines, which created some conditions that allowed for a lot of, like, you know, shit to filter up to the surface so we could look at. But by actually looking at it and not being caught up with it and talking about it and allowing for these healing moments to occur, these healing conversations with these people, you know, or talking to the right person, or being, I guess, just being fierce with what you're feeling and facing that, it just healed and changed so much that it allowed this amazing place where we live now to become available. You know,
Mm,
similar to the story with the printers, you know, we knew we were going to move anyway. Like that wasn't the problem. It wasn't that we were moving for that.
yeah.
Um, but you know, having the support of the sisterhood and actually really leaning on my wider environment and our wider environment to support us going through this, like actually being able to ask for help, like, hey, I'm really struggling with this, you know,
Mm,
this is something that you've done before, can we have a chat about that? Or I guess like asking for help, you know, in that situation and really dealing with it, like finishing it off, finding compassion, loving this woman so
mm,
much.
mm,
And I have so much love for her and so much gratitude and so much gratitude for the situation.
yeah.
And yeah, it was like, it was a little bit frightening at times. And it, you know, I look back and I just think it was just a blip, you know, but at the time it was really real. It was really frightening.
Mm,
And there was, yeah, it was really quite difficult. But where we live now is so much more over and above what we could have possibly imagined for ourselves. And we did. We spent a lot of time talking about how we wanted to feel and what sort of physical, practical things would help us thrive as a couple, as a family, as, you know, beings in this world. we took the time to engineer the consciousness
Yeah.
and to allow and receive. And, you know, we've been in this new place for a month, and our relationship is in a much better place because of it. And there were times there that it was really goddamn difficult, you know, and you used all the tools under the sun and it still felt like shit. But it was okay to sit in that shit.
Yeah.
And I have so much gratitude for that whole process, you know, and yeah. It just, and it has that impact. It has that impact. And this place already, like now as we are speaking, you know, there's a healing session going on in the other side of the house now, where it's a healing space. It's like I said, over and above what I possibly could have imagined for us to be in. You know, 12 months ago, there's no way I could have foreseen this. It's
So it's just opened up. Yeah, new possibility.
Yeah, new possibility, and healed so many of those, you know, different parts, and removed those obstacles to, for me being in my truth, for him being in his truth, for all those like outer connections, like work is better, friends are better.
Yeah.
It's just better when you're just you.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Just incredible. Yeah, I guess, you know, having that knowledge and being able to use the tools as well, and getting through something like that, and then finding that
and not getting stuck in it, like whatever it is, not you have a choice.
Absolutely.
You have that choice.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Definitely. It's funny with houses. Like I realized recently with our house, you know, that
it's really goddamn important, Ellie.
It is. And I was like, wow, we really haven't, it's like we haven't set our roots in the house, we sort of moved in and we've just not done anything to it because we're like, maybe we'll renovate, maybe we'll knock it down. But in the process of doing that, we've been here 5 years, and things are literally falling apart, and we haven't planted any.
There's no roots. There's no roots.
Yeah. And I was like, wow. And it made me go, oh my God, I need to plant some things, plant my blood.
And tend to your roots and fertilize them, not just necessarily plants, but your roots in the earth.
There was all this sort of stuff, and I was like, oh my God, no wonder the house doesn't feel right, because I haven't. And so just that energetic shift was just like, whoa. And it was good because I stopped.
And your family can thrive because you've set up those conditions for you to thrive.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, and a lot of it was an energetic shift too. Just that, I had been like for ages looking around my home going, oh, I don't like this place. And then as soon as I saw the humor that I had created this space. You know, that it was all in my power all along. I felt powerless. And then I was like, oh my God, you know, it was as simple as
you created that to then to be able to nurture it.
Yeah, exactly. So it was
really, and I created that crappy situation so we could heal some of those deep wounds to then thrive.
Yeah, so it's all magnificent.
It's magnificent, isn't it? Oh, and what's your superpower through this? Have you tapped into some part of you that is just a superpower?
Well,
gift.
Rolling on from what we were just talking about, you know, that I had created my situation. What I have come to realize, you know, through this program and throughout this year, is that creation and our ability to create is just, it's innate within all of us.
It's life force, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I realised that, you know, I just love to guide women to meet that creative force within themselves, to meet that creation goddess that is residing within them. And, you know, and for them to like know and embody, you know, what that innate creative power is. Yeah. you know, I
What a
created,
superpower.
you know, the shitty things as well as the really good things in my life. And, you know, and I just think, yeah, the more, you know, and the more that I can help people do that for themselves, and of course in doing it I'm helping myself.
Because you're maintaining your bliss state and offering that frequency out to the world.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just amazing. So I mean, yeah, us knowing that we can create all of our desires is just so essential for so many things. And, you know, and each one of us have our own unique journey, our chemical process to discovering that power within. And that's what I've come to coin creation alchemy. That's what we, you know, we sort of, we journey to discover that power within. You know,
and it is so unique, isn't it? And
we don't have that one. There's not one formula.
We're not one thing. There's not. Yeah, we're not just one thing. We're everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're unique then. What's your unique?
Yeah, look, really, really on that similar sort of vein of, you know, intuitive alchemy is being able to know myself enough and to, once again, trust that to be able to offer an invitation to transmute and to alchemize, to offer that right medicine at that right time, to intuitively alchemize wounds to wisdom.
Oh yes,
that is, yeah, it's my superpower. It's my zone of genius, and I'm owning it.
Yeah. You are.
Yeah. Yeah, because the more I know myself, the more I have this unlimited power. And it's not like an ego power thing. It's this really deep knowing that I'm loved. And I want other people to know that. I want everyone to know that, and to really know that and embody that and live from that space in everything, from the way that they eat, to move, to walk, to communicate, to dance, to paint, to whatever that is.
Yeah.
So we're all different, and being able to know, to alchemize whatever it is, the most effective way. I think, that's developing as a superpower.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, that creation, that is, so juicy. And that's that deep feminine juicy. That is what life is. That is what love is. It's love in motion, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Each creation from ourselves is it's like a part of ourselves, and we love, nurture it, grow it, and then we birth it to the world,
offer it, and it activates and does something for someone else that sees that or hears that, or
so essential. Life force. We were born to create. Absolute.
And gone are the days where we want to control it and stop it and sort of direct it. We can't direct. I know that now. But
yeah, I know. It's that divine feminine power of just being totally receptive and being that vessel to receive.
And knowing you can hold it, knowing you can contain that within yourself, and that you are enough just the way that you are. Just the way that you are. And I think, you know, if I was going to whisper words in my ear whenever I forget that superpower, is you are magnificent just the way you are.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yes! nap.
Because we are the most divine being, and we are perfect.
And you know, I'll tell you now, like there was a lot of like layers to be able to say that out aloud, let alone believe it, let alone like know it and live from it, you know. So it's said with deep reverence.
Absolutely. And they are the thing that is what what I am able to use to remind myself when I'm having a moment of doubt. I am enough. and I'm ready right now. You know, I don't need to wait for the moons to align and
in this moment.
Yeah, exactly. In this moment. And that's been one of those big things that I've learnt this year, that I might not ever feel ready, but now is the time. And I've really, you know, what I do today, I can improve on tomorrow. But if I don't do it today, it'll never happen. So really, it's just ready right now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, ready right now. Yay!
Oh, divine God.
Oh, so nice to chat like this.
Yes. Well, thank you, Beck. And
thank you, Ellie.
Yeah. And we'll sign off. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.